Hi everyone, this is a live for our 1 year Purkinje anniversary special. So it's been a year since we started this journey. Let's discuss plants. The thing we love most. One of my prized possession of plants is right now this string of turtles that I recently bought. Join in on the live and comment below on a particular plant topic that you might want to discuss. It can be anything, your plant related troubles, or you can ask me questions about my plants on how I take care of them. I did is and add some more phylodendrons to my collection. As you know, phylodendrons are my favorite plant species. This is a phylodendron that is subastum or something that I bought from Soiled. I don't know the spelling of that. It's subastum or something like that. Just look at the leaves. The back of the leaf is this, and the front is this. So I think you can see it, right? It's just beautiful. So this is one of the phylodendrons that I bought recently. Another phylodendron that I bought recently, also from Soil, by the way. This is Phylodendron Golden Dragon. This is supposed to have a very long leaf. This leaf is supposed to grow longer, and it's one single branch with multiple nodes. So this one was two branches, and this is just one branch. These are my two recent Phylodendron collection edition, which I will review in detail in one of my upcoming YouTube video. I'll do a detailed review with all the pricing and everything. Yeah, I also bought another thing that was very, yeah. So Gaurav is asking, why don't you pot them in a bigger pot? Are you talking, if you're talking about the phylodendron, the reason I haven't yet repotted is, first of all, two reasons. I bought it recently, so I want them to acclimate in my home for a little while longer. And second is, I did check out the root system a little bit when the soil was coming off from the box. It's not yet root bound. These guys like to be root bound. So once they fill this entire pot with their roots, I will transplant them into another pot. So the two reasons are basically I don't want them to go into shock right away. They're already in a kind of a shock because of the transit. And I want them to get used to this indoors area because they have been in greenhouse, they have been with their friends, and they were happy there. But now they are back. So I don't usually report the plants immediately after they come back from the nursery, after a transit or even from a local nursery. So another thing I recently bought out because of this guy. So for people who have joined it recently, you should check out this. This is one of my favorite plants right now. I don't know if I'll kill this guy. This is a string of turtles. I hope I don't. The key to this is apparently less watering, even more less watering. And this is I'm not sure if I'll kill this guy, so I'm just gonna wait it out because I have eyes on another string of variegated string of hearts. But I first want to try this out, learn from this, and then buy another one because this was a very expensive. See how small the pot is. This is very expensive one, but there are tons of branches here, tons of new growth coming in, and there are tons of new growth coming in. So this was 900 rupees. So out of all the phylodendrons and everything that I bought, this was the costlier one. I don't want to kill it. To assist me with this kind of a plant, I also bought something called a moisture meter. Finally, so this is a 3-in-1 moisture meter, moisture, pH, and light meter. So I don't completely rely on this, but the easy part is, let's say sometimes for phylodendron, I cannot poke my finger completely into the soil. Sometimes the lower part of the soil can remain wet, and there's no need to water. Phylodendrons like to dry out in betweens. That's true for monsteras as well. And it's not always possible to poke all the way through. So this helps in detecting what's the state of the soil completely in the bottom. And you have to be very careful with this not to damage the roots. So, and you also have to check at multiple points. Sometimes you may get dry in one spot, but it's still wet in other spots. So you can't completely rely on this. You have to rely on both the plant cues and this thing is just a help for you, but not the complete answer. So this is also to help me with this string of turtles care thing. Anyway, so basically, yeah, do let me know if you have any questions and all of that. I killed my Hoyas last summer, last year in 2020. I bought another one, and this summer they are doing so well. They have given so many new growth. And this guy is reaching places. And see the number of growth points. There are at least uh, four I can see right now. 4 to 5 new growth points in this one. Uh, I don't think this is proper Hoya. This is Dischidia, similar species to Hoya. But I think this also flowers actually. So I don't care as long as it flowers, right? This is the Hoya that I have, and this is giving out new growth. Do you see this tiny leaf? There are many new growth points. This is also a growth point, and this has grown so bushy, right? It barely had 4 or 5 leaves, and this is doing well. This is doing well for the summer, and the key to it is simply put: don't put it in direct sun, east facing window. Shift them when the summer comes in. I have shifted it to the west facing window with bright indirect light or artificial light, and water them. And the soil substrate is completely soilless. There's no soil whatsoever. There are barks and charcoal and all of that. And water them when it's completely dry. I water these guys every alternate days. You can water them. How many plants do you have? I have less than 100 plants, but just in my room, if I count, 23 plants in my room, and there are two more balconies which I've not counted. So yeah, the key to these Hoya guys is basically don't repot them at all. They have a very tiny, tiny root system. That's the mistake that I did last time. And these guys, this tiny pot will take about 3 years to fill in completely, more than 3 years, in fact. So they can very easily just use this much. So yeah, that's why Hoyas are expensive. The large Hoyas are expensive. Hoyas, we discussed new Phylodendrons, and I have done a major experiment with my large Phylodendron, the Phylodendron Red Emerald. It was not doing well, and I chopped it off completely from beginning to the end. All the nodes are chopped off, and yeah, it was a really hard decision to do that. It's necessary sometimes because the plant was not really doing well. It was something that I had to do because it had lost a lot of leaves on the bottom nodes. Uh, so even if 4 or 5 of them survive, it will make a really good bushy long plant. So that's why I did that. Either ways, I did one more thing. Actually, see the amount of cuttings that I put in. Uh, this is, and you will see a couple of yellow leaves, which is completely normal. Yellow leaves are normal, and the reason yellow leaves are normal is because that I have transplanted it very recently. I've cut it up, so it's natural to have some leaves yellow because they go into shock temporarily, and it's okay if they lose leaves. They will root it out, and they will get rooted, and they will start making. See the this plant, if even a few of them survive, it will make such a bushy Monstera Adamsoni. So yeah, yellow leaves are normal, and don't be afraid to cut these guys up. And this time I did not propagate in water because water propagation, the leaves get smaller. I have made an entire video about that. The roots that grow up in water are just simply. So Probir is asking, are there any homegrown orchids? Not yet, but I have plans to add orchids in my home collection very soon. They are a bit high maintenance. They take a lot of time. Uh, Especially in this weather that we have in Kolkata. A little bit lower temperature would have been helpful, but yeah, I'm gonna try at least one very recently. If not for this second wave, I would have definitely went out and bought one. I'm not comfortable buying orchids online because they are flowering plants and they would be very sensitive to a huge amount of transit. Even hardy plants like orchids and all of these guys are very sensitive to long-term transit for 7 days or so. Really, orchids, I only want to buy it from local nurseries, and I haven't been able to go to local nurseries because of this COVID case is rising up. Anywho, so yeah, I was also talking about the water propagation thing. I am shifting away from water propagation to soil propagation, and I have made a detailed video about that on the channel because uh, all the plants, it's very easy to grow in water. It's very easy to grow cuttings in water, but it's not something that works out in the long term. The leaves become much smaller because the roots that grow in water don't get uh, it takes a lot of time for them to get used to once you put them back in soil. All those Instagram and Facebook videos, putting money plants in water. It looks good for a little bit, but it doesn't work out in the long term. So soil propagation or the pinning method is best way to go. Even in this case, the pinning method, I did use it to propagate a lot of plants, and then finally went ahead and cut up the nodes that became empty and put it in the soil. So hopefully this grows big. Recently, I also tried a couple of new online nurseries for apart from soil. Currently, soil.in is my favorite because they are reasonably priced plants, and they have been one of the sources of my plants during this lockdown and COVID situation. Uh, another nursery that I bought it from was Birds and Splash or something like that, birdsandblush.com. So I bought a phylodendron and a very small spider plant. It's a very tiny, and it was very cheap as well. So it's a very tiny spider plant. Hopefully it grows big and makes for a good hanging pot. Uh, Another nursery that I was recommended by a lot of users was nurserybuy.com, and they have very good collection of plants. They are based out of, I think, Pune or Bombay belt, and they have very good collection of phylodendrons that I am happy to try very soon. Uh, so yeah, this is pretty much it. I'll post all the reviews and details in much more detail. By the way, this is the new Monstera that I bought. Uh, I think you can see a new leaf coming out. This is the new leaf that is coming out of fenestrations. This is the Ugao wala Monstera, which is giving out new leaf. So the Ugao guys have increased the Monstera plant price to nearly double of what it was. So I bought this plant for 998 rupees. They have now made it nearly, I think, 1800 rupees or so. So yeah, I did buy it from Soil. From Soil, I got it for 600 or 700 rupees, I think. And there were two Monstera branches in that. So yeah, it was for the same price. I got two branches, but there were a lot of leaves that were lost in the Monstera. That's the issue of buying large plants from online shopping this time. So yeah, another plant that is in my wish list is Pilea Peppermints. I have killed it very badly in the last summer, and I have learned a lot about the plant. The plant is native to temperate zone, so it needs the soil substrate needs to be very well maintained for it to survive for longer. This is one of the things like the nurseries often stuff it with cocoa peat, stuff the plant with cocoa peat, and then if you continue using that, it will survive for some time, then it will deteriorate and then completely die because of more water retention in the soil. It's very important to understand what the same cases with anthuriums. Anthuriums are also put in cocoa peat in nurseries. They don't survive after they come back home. So yeah, this is it. So thank you so much for everyone for liking, following, subscribing, whatever. And I never expected this channel to grow this much. Actually, it was just a hobby project, but it's fun to create videos on plants. It's one of the things that has kept me sane during this crazy time. But yeah, so thank you so much for everyone who are part of this journey, and I hope I can produce more and more videos. If you have any suggestions on some video that you want to put up, then of course I will make videos on that. Do put it up in the comments below. So, I am being asked, which plant do you like the most? Oh, this is a very difficult question. Very, very difficult question. Uh, there are multiple favorites. My current favorite is this one, string of turtles, of course. This is my prized possession right now. And Phylodendrons is, of course, overall my best plant that I can recommend to any beginner plant lovers or advanced plant lovers, anyone, because the care is so easy, yet there is so much variety there. Uh, I do also like this. I was amazed by this plant, right? The red in the back and apparently they grow large leaves, so they grow tall and they have a very large leaf structure when they grow mature. So this is also one of my favorites. So overall, I would say phylodendrons and monsteras are my favorite. This succulent string of turtles and all of these guys are aspirational plants, which I have no clue on how to take care of. I'm learning. All plants are my favorite. And thank you so much for everyone who joined, and thank you for everyone who has supported me in this journey. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this page with any of your plant friends if they find it useful. And that's it. Thanks. Stay safe. Bye.